The recession may have hurt developed economies, but for the poorest countries of the world, the consequences have been far more severe. After years of improvement, the number of people living in extreme poverty has again begun to rise. So what can be done to prevent the world's poorest people slipping further down the economic ladder?
The devastating earthquake that hit Haiti shocked the world, but also prompted people into helping. Donations have already topped $500 million, and there is talk of writing off the country's billion-dollar debt. Donor fatigue may be a myth.
I think one thing we do see is that absolutely when there's a critical crisis that pulls on the heartstrings of the general public, people absolutely have before and will step up, and they are stepping up in Haiti, to be sure.
Haiti may be dominating the airwaves now, but it is far from the only issue that needs immediate attention. The financial crisis and hikes in food prices globally have driven more than 55 million extra people into poverty in 2009. A further 64 million are expected to be added in 2010, according to the World Bank.
The extent of the problem is huge. As the rich countries start coming back in terms of their economic growth, it's only just now that it's hitting the poorest countries.
Organisations like Oxfam and the World Food Programme provide vital assistance, but aid is a short-term solution. With the vast majority of global food production passing through the private sector, the Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition, or GAIN, is taking a different approach. It partners up with the private sector to reduce malnutrition worldwide.
If you want to start to address malnutrition, we have to find a way to bring the private sector to the table. If we are going to start to look at how do we change markets, we have to start to address the whole issue of how do we make the right kind of food available at the right cost and of the right quality to reach those people who need it most and who suffer most from malnutrition.
1 billion people in the world wake up hungry every day. 2 billion suffer from poor diet. The lack of adequate vitamins and minerals, especially in staple foods such as rice, wheat or corn. It's a hidden hunger with lasting economic repercussions.
Growth is provided by human beings and their activities, starting with their intellectual activities and then their physical activities. If you are not in good health, how can you perform those functions in an efficient way? It just doesn't fly.
We've been feeding people, but we need to start nourishing them. And to nourishing them, we need innovation. Not just, feeding people, but feeding them the right food at the right time. So that's micronutrients, but it's also exciting things about taking locally grown crops from cassava to millet and finding ways to fortify them and package them and get them to the people in ways that are sustainable. I mean, there is a lot to be done.
GAIN is already working with the World Food Programme to fortify food for the relief operation in Haiti. But their main focus lies with people on the fringes, not in abject poverty, but still vulnerable.
There's a category of people at the bottom of the pyramid, the 2 billion or so, who do have disposable income. They do make choices about the food that they buy every day. And we should be addressing that huge bulk of people that sits at the bottom of the pyramid.
It's that financial incentive for companies that should make the model sustainable. With access to fortified foods, this group will grow and prosper, increasing an already huge untapped market. But fail to deliver, and the poorest countries, especially in Africa, will struggle to meet the Millennium Development Goals.
Therefore, it requires a different approach. It requires urgent action. It requires us, from the developed world and our own governments, the private sector and community-based organizations, to say we have to change that trajectory by doing something that is courageous, that is bold, and that is a call to action.